Hello, my dear students, and welcome back. Exams are just around the corner. I know things can get a bit stressful, but tension mat lo, don't you worry at all. Today, we are going to do a super quick revision of the chapter on contemporary South Asia. And I promise you, by the end of this, you are going to feel completely exam ready.
All right, everyone, let's start by meeting the neighbors. Just think of South Asia as one big, bustling family with 7 members. You've got India, of course, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, and the Maldives. You know, from the massive Himalayan kingdoms of Nepal and Bhutan, all the way down to the beautiful island nations of Sri Lanka and the Maldives, each one has its own really unique story.
So, in the next few minutes, here's our game plan to absolutely master this chapter. We're going to understand our neighbors, we'll look at their dreams, their fights, and, most importantly, how they're trying to live together. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, let's dive right into our first big idea. And what's really, truly fascinating is that even with all the different political systems across these countries, the people from Sri Lanka all the way to Nepal, they all share one powerful common dream.
Yes, you heard that right. Despite all the problems and all the challenges, the people of South Asia have this really strong desire for democracy. Please remember this point. It's such a positive sign for our entire region. Just look at this. This survey tells a very clear story. In almost every single country, a huge majority of people prefer democracy over any kind of dictatorship.
And this chart, well, this one brilliantly illustrates another key fact. Most people believe democracy is not just good in general, but very suitable for their own country. This is a super important point for your exams, so make a note of it.
But my dear students, the path to democracy, it hasn't been a smooth ride for everyone. Not at all. Let's take a quick look at the struggles some of our neighbors have faced along the way. Let's start with Pakistan, where the journey has been, well, kind of like a seesaw, constantly swinging back and forth between army rule and democracy.
Just have a look at this timeline. It shows a very clear pattern, right? You see military generals taking over from elected governments again and again. One moment you have a democratic leader, and then poof, the next, an army general is in charge. It's this constant back and forth that's made things so unstable.
Now pay attention. This is a very common exam question. Let's quickly go over how you should answer this to get full marks.
So the crucial points are these 3 factors. Write this down. First, you have the powerful army, the religious leaders, and the big landlords who have a lot of control. Second, the constant conflict with India, well, that just makes the military groups even more powerful. And third, there's been a lack of strong support for democracy from other powerful countries. Got it? Okay, now let's travel south to our island neighbor, Sri Lanka. It faced a very different kind of challenge. This was a fight from within the family.
This cartoon shows the problem perfectly. The Sri Lankan government was stuck right in the middle, trying to balance the majority Sinhala community, which is represented by the lion, and the militant Tamil group, the LTTE, represented by the tiger. This conflict led to a long and very painful civil war.
Now, you know, being the biggest country in the region, India naturally has a lot of interactions and sometimes, well, disagreements with all of its neighbors.
And the most famous conflict, of course. It's just like a high-stakes cricket match, isn't it? It's between India and Pakistan.
These are the main issues that really keep the tensions high. We've got ongoing disputes over territory like Kashmir and the super-strategic Siachen Glacier. And then there's the dangerous nuclear arms race that began after both countries conducted tests back in 1998.
But hold on, it's not all just fighting. Even with all these big disagreements, there have been some really amazing moments of cooperation. It's not all doom and gloom.
For example, just look at the Indus Waters Treaty. It was signed way back in 1960 and has worked for over 60 years. It has even survived through wars. This just goes to show that peace is absolutely possible when there's a will to make it happen.
Now let's turn to our eastern neighbor, Bangladesh. With them, it's also a mixed story of friendship and, well, a bit of friction. As you can see, we work together on really important things like trade and disaster management. But we also have serious disagreements on issues like sharing river water, especially the Ganga, and the very sensitive topic of illegal immigration.
So, with all these problems, you might be wondering, did the neighbors ever try to come together as a group to solve them?
Yes, they did. They formed SAARC way back in 1985. And the idea was great, really. Let's all work together and grow together. A wonderful idea.
But the big question is, has it actually achieved its goals? Well, the reality is, not as much as everyone had hoped for.
The constant fighting between India and Pakistan has unfortunately meant that SAARC just hasn't been as effective as it could be. Because you see, this one conflict takes up so much political energy. It makes it almost impossible to agree on big projects. It's kind of like when the two main players in a team just don't get along. The whole team suffers, right?
And finally, our neighborhood's story is also influenced by powerful outsiders. We're not alone in this. Let's quickly see how. We also have to think about the influence of global powers like China and the USA. As these images kind of suggest, China has a very strong partnership with Pakistan. The US, on the other hand, it tries to balance its relationships with both India and Pakistan, and often plays the role of a moderator in the region.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. The future of South Asia, it depends on us, the people and the governments of this region. Will we choose to be a family that's always fighting, or a family that works together and grows together? Think about it. All the very best for your exams.